Okay. We are live. I am early. I am back for today. Um, yeah, so obviously this isn't 6 o'clock like I am normally what I normally do on Sundays. Um, and it's been a while since I've been around. I did a quick little video just a few days ago, kind of explaining, where I've been and that sort of thing. But my goal is to get back into a weekly schedule, bi-weekly, weekly. As time goes on, we'll change it up, see what works best. Brandon is not gone. No, Brandon is not gone. I will have, hey, what's up? What's up, Stuart? I've switched things up a little bit. So my computer is over here. So if you see me looking away, that is because I'm looking at the computer. I had to clear this little desk off earlier this week, and I haven't set it back up to the way I had it. I kind of like this, but at the same time, to check comments, I will be looking away from the camera. So anyways, I know it's been a while since we've done the weekly series, almost 2 months now. And then even before that, we had a couple hiccups between there. So my goal is to get back to my at least bi-weekly, if not weekly schedule. It may not be Sunday, it may be Saturday, or we may do something throughout the week. So I'm gonna switch things up a bit as we go. Try to keep things interesting and just kind of hang out with you guys like I was before. um it does get busy. Tactical Pontoon this year has been extremely busy, between just making sure that supply trigger shoes. This year I launched the Peacemaker trigger shoe, the first truly dedicated um tactical pontoon trigger shoe, and keeping up with that alone was has been crazy. It's been a success. The Peacemaker trigger shoe has been a great success. Now, it's not to say that it's a clean sheet design. I knew a very good design when I found one, having worked with so many different triggers, that it was a given to not only have something that works really, really well, but you also have a supplier that can keep up with demands for the most part, as long as I order in the right period of time. I was, part of that was my fault. And then quality wise, and it was a given. Gunco was able to bring all of that under one roof and allow me to have a trigger shoe of my own. Thomas, been a while, I know. Been a few days. I will try to keep back up on this schedule. Nordic, Nevada, and Old Stewart. Yes, pressing out some Glocktober t-shirts. I wore mine the other day, or I would have it on. And that's really what I should have done for this stream, because the Glocktober t-shirts also in this orange, the same orange that this shirt is in. They've been very popular, and I know every time I wear it out, which I have recently, I everybody loves it. Um, actually went to a screening of Nightmare Before Christmas with my Glocktober shirt. It actually worked really well. Got some compliments there. But the Glocktober t-shirts, those are for this month only. We'll do another run next year, and probably running up to October. But you can actually get a hold of one on the website, or if right now, until tomorrow, with the Glocktober specials, if you get any two trigger systems, tune-up kits, trigger shoes, uh, just put your size in. If you order two new, these are for new orders. If you order two new systems at once in one ticket or in the same day, um, put your size in the order notes, and Stuart we'll get you set up with a t-shirt. I will forward your information over to him and he will send it to you. It will come in a different box than your trigger system. That is one that I've had to tell several people. Christina is here. And then we have Scott. I'm not doing anything. Well, Scott, I didn't expect you to do anything. Go fix your car. You need to be fixing your car before I get there. I don't want to have to do it. You know I'm spoiled with a lift nowadays. So yes, the Peacemaker trigger shoe has been extremely popular. I plan right now I have it in two colors. I have black, which is extremely popular, and then the OD green. I do want to roll out like an FDE is probably the next color that's going to come out. Right now, I don't foresee FDE being an option until probably the beginning of next year or late this year. It's really um it's a popular color, but it's not as popular as black. When it comes to it, I probably ship out more on a 3-to-1. It's probably 3-to-1 basis, black versus other colors. Now what I do occasionally is if somebody wants a, like FD or gray or something, I will supplement in a Gunco SS trigger if something was you know required. So just hit me up if you do have a question. As for a different color, or occasionally, I do the limited editions. We've got some really good limited editions right now, and there's a couple more coming in. I do foresee before Halloween, there should be some limited editions that are going to launch right at the end of the month with their Halloween themed. I know it happened late. A lot of things happen very quickly, or I didn't plan as well for this month as I probably should have. Things just came to being, and so there will be some limited editions. So you could probably finish up like a Halloween theme build and have it ready for next year. I know I hate being behind the eight ball, but when you're a one-man show, sometimes things don't always work the way you want them to. Too bad I only need one trigger at the moment. Yeah, Yamil, if I'm saying that right. If I'm not saying it right, I do apologize. What I could do, if let's say for example you wanted to get in on the t-shirt, I do have a code that I will give out if you just want to buy one, and I can give you a discount on the t-shirt. I do have a code for that, which will give you half off on the t-shirt. So I do have a code for that. So if you're interested, it's a possibility. I have had a couple people ask. So one of my triggers in Trinidad and Tobago, really? Hey, I build a lot of triggers. They do get around. I am Tactical Pontoon has definitely expanded since especially since I went full time. I had a presence before I went full time, but having these last 2 years, and it's going on 2 years where I've been full time, where it's just really exploded, getting out there, getting out there, which is not an easy thing when you think about all of the different options that there are on the market for Glock triggers. I like to think that I bring something extra to the table, and that's if I didn't believe that Tactical Pontoon brought something extra to the table, but I wouldn't be here. That's really how I got started. I had ordered quite a few different triggers, tried different things. I just wasn't happy. That's how Tactical Pontoon got started. I started looking at how all of this actually functioned, and that led me to the path of creating something that I really liked. Didn't even originally plan on building triggers for other people. It was just something I wanted to be happy with. Then I came up with something that I really liked, On a whim, I sent to a YouTube channel that I really was watching quite a bit of lately, or at that time, was Tactical Toolbox, and that was right around the time that P80s really exploded, and that's really the wave I would say he came in on. Excuse me. And most of you guys, if you've watched the channel, know that I'm not a huge P80 fan. Not not anything that has to do with the P80 itself. It's just having dealt with all of the misdrilled holes and how that really changes the dynamics of the trigger when people are putting them together. Um, I actually was kind of a P. I had bought several frames. I wanted to get into P80s, and like I said, that was the wave. Tactical Toolbox at the time was kind of like the big channel. And I sent him one for him to take a look at. And that's kind of where it started. Next thing I know, I'm taking in orders, does sending out triggers that I had tuned, having some failures. There was a lot to learn. There was a lot about the system that I knew from doing my work, but there was a lot more of little troubleshooting things, uh, different tolerance stack ups that I didn't take into account for all of the different, and there's even more now. So I could only imagine. I will say this: P80 really gave me a lot of troubleshooting chops, if you will, and lessons that I probably wouldn't get as much now with more of your standardized frames, like your dagger. Everything's drilled already. Your pin locations, for the most part, are set. Obviously, there's going to be differences, and if it's a Friday gun or a Monday gun, not just dagger alone, but you got SCT, you've got Zero Delta, you have Nomad, you've got grit grips now, all of these different things. So learning during the P80 phase is actually one thing that really did help me when it comes to troubleshooting. Uh, just so you can ask a question. Yes. And that is one thing that I try even to this day, as busy as I get, to maintain that ability. If you need something, I try to get to messages as quick as possible, whether it's an email, Facebook Messenger, which recently Facebook decided to delete my account. Supposedly, from what I could tell, somebody logged into my account and they shut my account down. They said it was it was disabled because of an unauthorized access, which seems like very kind of an overrated thing for them to shut my account completely off. It was kind of nice to have the break from Facebook, but at the same time, obviously being able to contact you guys on Facebook Messenger is a big part of what I do and what I bring to the table. So emails here on YouTube or Rumble, whenever I get a message or a post or a comment that needs some attention, I go out there and I try to make sure that I give information and answers. Occasionally I'll get questions. I know during the original SCT 19 builds, people were asking about the magwells, and I didn't answer what magwell it was because it doesn't completely fit, and I didn't want the backlash from that. But I guess I upset some people by not answering what magwell it was. So, not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But yeah, it's been a heck of a ride at Tactical Pontoon, and there's a long way yet to go. We've got a lot still in the tank. There is, like I said, different colors coming. One question that I get a lot, at least I would say about 3 or 4 times a month, and that may not be a lot, but it's what do you do a trigger for this? Do you do a trigger for that? And A lot of times the answer obviously is no. The other platforms that I do a trigger for would be the H&K VP9. I still do those triggers. I do about 2 a month, 1 to 2 a month, sometimes more, sometimes less. Getting parts for those can be iffy. The trigger bars or the reset bars, it fluctuates worse than a Glock. And that is one thing that has definitely kept me from jumping over into doing a trigger system, which is kind of where my heart lies, is building actual trigger systems. If I can't get the parts for that gun readily, it becomes where, and you see this with companies like, I don't really like saying their name because I don't want them to send me another cease and desist, but that would be Overwatch or Apex. Apex has never sent me a cease and desist, but I wouldn't put it past them. Where they create a trigger shoe, okay? They create for guns that are not very popular, they create a trigger shoe for. But the thing is, when you cannot get, say, a trigger bar or a striker or whatever the components are readily available, then it makes creating a trigger system very difficult. And then if it's an inexpensive gun to start with, or even if it's an expensive gun, it makes it a very expensive trigger system to then produce. Not to mention, you do have time and money that goes into developing, because I'm going to be honest, when it comes to the Glock system, I have a ton, and I've kept a lot. I didn't throw everything away. There was stuff I threw in anger of things that I have destroyed in working on these systems. So research and development costs will play into a system like that. So let's say one that comes to mind, FN. I get questions occasionally on FN systems like the 509 or the whatever it is, and they ask about triggers. Well, I don't I would have to charge quite a bit of money to legitimately build some sort of system. I would have to, and that's the thing. While there is a market for it, it's not a very big market. Same, the CZP10 was one platform that I really was excited for when they came out. I thought that it would really blow up. It had a really nice trigger right out of the box, but there were places that it could be improved. And I've done several P10 systems. It's more of a tune-up than a dedicated system. And that just doesn't completely sit well with the way that I like to do things. Real quick, Chad Fertney, what's the difference between the Peacemaker Daily and the Peacemaker Extreme for the 43.8? Well, there is no between the Peacemaker Daily. Okay, I originally had a Peacemaker Daily for the 43 systems. Okay, I've since actually discontinued that because it didn't quite live up to my standards. It was a basic drop in. I polished and cleaned all the system or all of the components, and with a striker spring, sent it out. The Peacemaker Extreme carry is where I have taken that trigger bar and the connector and I've changed the geometry so that not only is the brake still, which is one thing I really is one of the things I like about the slimline systems. They have they have a distinct clean brake. Well, I keep that clean brake and improve it. And then I shorten that reset to like 70% shorter, if not more, depending on the frame and how you've got it set up. So the Peacemaker Daily was a basic drop-in. Very simple, cleans everything up, but it does not improve reset, and it doesn't improve reset. It does drop the weight down, and it does make for a slightly cleaner break. With the Peacemaker Extreme Carry, which is the current system and the one that will stay around, it's brought up to my standards. There's a lot of work that's actually gone in for the geometry to make it up to my standards. So basic is daily, extreme carry is all of my custom work. But going back to other systems, other platforms that I'll be working on, I have a couple in the back of my head that I may eventually put some time into. But just offering a trigger shoe with a spring kit for some platform isn't currently something that I'm extremely excited about doing. Um, I don't want to water down the brand too much. I don't want to water down what I do by just offering a bunch of stuff. Now, if for example, I was going to offer a trigger shoe for, let's throw it back out to the FN. And again, this is not something I'm even working on. It's in my brain. An FN. There are other trigger shoes out there for the FN. It's kind of like all of the 320 triggers. They're basically just a trigger shoe with a couple over travel stops, and they look better. Again, yes, you want your gun to look good. You want there to be, some reduced travel, and obviously a flat trigger gives you a little bit more leverage. Again, that's not really where I find excitement about. And don't get me wrong, making money is a great thing, and I am not against making money, but I want it to be justified. I want to truly have my heart in it, other than just being the Walmart of triggers. I really don't want that. So that's why I haven't put a lot of time and effort into just shotgun scatter gunning a bunch of different trigger shoes just to have my name out there. So yeah, that's kind of why you haven't seen me just populate the website with a bunch of different trigger shoes that, and I could have trigger shoes made for different designs, and I could go that route, but again, that's really not where my heart's at, and that's why I haven't expanded out there until I find something that I truly really believe in. You're not going to see Tactical Pontoon jump out there like that. Yes, the HKVP9, that is an earlier system. I still keep it around. It's an excellent value for what it is. It does change that trigger, which is also considered one of the nicer striker fired pistols. This bumps it up a level. I still keep it around. I spent the time to develop that. I'm still proud of it. But as for expanding right now, I got my eye on a couple things, but we'll see. I'm still building a lot of Glock triggers. I feel like there's still stuff that can be done. I feel like there's another level still available, and I'm going to be working on it. I'm still doing research and development. I'm still ruining Glock parts. I can tell you that. I can tell you I'm still ruining Glock parts, trying to come up with something just a little bit different. So I'm not done yet. There will be other things available as time goes on. So yeah, that's why I haven't jumped into other things. As you can see, Brandon is not here. Brandon, I will bring it back up again. Brandon is not gone. We will have podcasts together. We will have our weekly show together. He may not be able to join quite as much. I really enjoy his insight and bringing him on here. We really want to actually expand it to where it also is on his channel as well, which we will do. So Brandon will be back. Brandon has been very busy going from just designing to building parts as well has been quite a ride for him, and I got to give it to him. He has gone through a lot to get where he is at, and he still has a little ways to go before he's got some time freed up. So if you follow Brandon, if you've used his products at Disruptive Defense, um, just shoot him an email. Let him know. Let him know that you're thinking about him, and that you're proud of him, because he is the man. The man is working very hard, and like me, he's basically a one man show. He's a one man operation, and it's a lot of work. Back over here, Chad. Thanks for the explanation. Love the daily. So now that I gave my daughter my 48 for her 28 or 21st, really looking forward to the extreme even more. What's the half off t-shirt code? I'm going to make it up on the fly, and I will implement it to the website uh, after the stream. So let me get my handy dandy notebook. The half off code will be Tober, Tober, because it's half of Glock Tober. I am simple like that. That will be half off the t-shirt, which the t-shirt is in the extras tab on the website, and that's going to give you half off the t-shirt. Okay, but obviously don't. I haven't implemented it yet, so don't run over there and try to use it until after the stream. But after the stream, I will implement that code so that it is active. Okay. And yes, the extreme carry is another level compared to the carry. I was so happy. I'm so happy with the way the extreme carry goes that I just couldn't justify keeping the daily around. The parts for a 43 slimline are so expensive to just get a hold of, and the supply is very low, that I couldn't justify carrying both and having such a difference in performance for the price of the daily versus the extreme carry, that I let the daily go. So that's the biggest difference there, is just why the daily is not around anymore. I just couldn't justify that cost for the extra work that I put into the extreme carry. I think there was like a $30 difference in the two, and there's such a difference in the amount of work that goes into it, that just keeping the daily around to try to keep the price to where it was for the work that went in there, I just couldn't keep the daily around and justify it to myself. So that's why. So if you want half off of a t-shirt, whether you've bought a trigger system or not, I'm just going to leave Tober up for this stream, and you guys can take advantage of that. And I will honor it if you check out after the stream, because obviously it's not active yet. Okay, so back to it. Brandon will be back. We will be doing weeklies together. I will have guests that come on. I'm not good at setting these things up, because as a one-man show, I stay busy. That's another reason why today is actually early, is because I got out here in the shop. I wanted to do it at 6 o'clock, but because I was busy yesterday here in the shop and working in the shop this morning, I didn't get a chance to do what I was going to do last evening. So I'm going to do it this evening. So 6 o'clock's just not going to work for me tonight. We will see what days work harder weekly is going to actually end up on. I'm going to talk to Brandon, see if maybe we want to do something in week. So that's a possibility as well. And if you guys have opinions on that, be sure to leave the comment. Let me know. Because it's also, we can hang out together. It's not just me. A lot of this stuff is not just me. I do a lot of this stuff to help you guys out. I could just have stuff online and send you guys links to videos, but I do try to interact with you because that's a large part of who Tactical Pontoon is helping out the communities. And I'm another part of being in the community. It was really kind of cool. I got back into the Facebook group Glock World. It's a it's a large Glock community. I was banned from that. I cannot remember that I've been banned from some of the larger ones for a variety of reasons. Glock World might have been the one that tried getting free stuff from me. There have been others that got rid of me because I was not the accepted large trigger tuner. Um, and I've actually been banned for that. So it's kind of neat to be back. I think I had gotten kicked off there back in 2019, so I'm back here in 2024. But I'm also, active in the Dagger community. Grit Grips community is growing. Any of the Glock clones communities. So I try to reach out there. I do put my advertisement posts. I try to post pictures. If I see things when I'm scrolling, I try to help out. And then, of course, you guys can message me, email me, that sort of thing. And I do try to help. That's part of Tactical Pontoon. But what else before I jump off this stream? Like I said, it's a short one just because um, I didn't have a lot to talk about, to be completely honest. I miss having Brandon here. T virus for all right. All right. I'm glad I love the T virus. Not even gonna lie. That's probably one of my favorite designs is that green. I love a lime green. Oddly enough, my latest project, which is also part of the reason why I've not been as active on um, YouTube, is I did pick up a project car, another one. If you guys have been around the channel for a while, I'm kind of a car guy as well as the triggers. And I part of like a stretch goal for myself this year was to find and possibly pick up a Dodge Viper, which was a very big stretch goal. I didn't think it was going to happen, and things like fell together. Uh Things fell together. I knew that I would end up with a red flag car. I knew that I would come up with a red flag project at the price range that I could even begin to think about. Okay. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I can turn a wrench. That's part of something I've always been, I've always done. A small used car lot. Yeah, it feels like a small used car lot. It really does. Always something to do. And so an antifreeze green one, and that's literally the paint code. It's not a factory color. Also a red flag. Antifreeze green Dodge Viper GTS showed up about 20 miles away from me for the price range that I could get into. It is a rebuilt title car. It had been in an accident. It had been repaired pretty well. It had been customized with different paint colors. It had been the fiberglass body had been repaired relatively well. The paint is not great. It looks good from a distance. That bright green hides a lot of a lot of scrutiny because it's just so bright. And there were pieces and parts that are missing and need repaired, but it does run, it does drive, and I have spent some time driving it. Not as much driving it as working on it, but that will continue. So the working on it part, driving it, we'll see. I would very much like it to be reliable enough to make a long road trip, but we'll see. But I'll save that for I do have a small um car based YouTube channel that I occasionally update. I'll keep those details for there. We'll talk about it another time. But yeah, so Work Harder Weekly will be back. I'm going to keep busy. If you guys have any questions, you guys want to get a hold of me, I'm easy to get a hold of. You can hit up the website, Tactical Pontoon, tacticalpontoon.com. There is the email, tacticalpontoon@gmail. Instagram is tactical_pontoon. Facebook, you can get a hold of me there. And yeah, so I will be back. I will try to make it weekly or bi-weekly, but you guys, it's good to see you guys here. It's actually good to be back, and I will try to make it more often. So this has been a short one, and I will next to the line GT. Yes, we need to do that one day. When Stuart, when I can get it to the point where I can make sure I can make it out that far, we'll get some pictures next to each other. But all right, I'm gonna catch you guys later. I'm gonna jump off here, and we'll do it again very soon. Until next time.